An apparent turf war is simmering between rival outlaw motorcycle gangs on the Gold Coast. That was after a weekend of violence erupted down south. Police say two alleged bikies are accused of trying to set fire to a home by throwing accelerant at it before that being stabbed early yesterday. That also came after another man was hospitalised with a suspected gunshot wound, and a total of 5 people allegedly linked to the Finks, Mongols, Bandidos and Camacheros, are now under the microscope of the police. Now, to fill us in on what he thinks about this, Bond University criminologist and former detective Terry Goldsworthy joins me on the line now. Terry, are we seeing a turf war again on the Gold Coast?
Yeah, good afternoon, Scott. Yeah, look, I think obviously there's some issues going on. I mean, these things that occurred on a weekend rolled over the entire weekend. So it started Friday night, went through Saturday into Sunday. So you would think after Friday night they would be aware that the police were involved and they might take a low profile if they cared. Obviously they don't. So I think this is just indicative of some wider issues that we're probably going to see in the bikies in more recent times. We've had the Rapid Action Patrol Group down here that was the uniform bikie busting force set up in 2014, basically being pulled apart and being used just for normal policing duties. For the last 18 months, they've been down manning the borders, so they've been doing no actual penetration of any criminal behaviour on the coast here. So, it's not surprising. In addition to that, we saw last month, it was considered a good move to send Gold Coast Bikie Maxima staff all the way up to Hamilton Island, 1,000 kilometres away, to arrest 3 bikies who were up there for a holiday sitting on the beach. So while they're up there doing that, they're not going to be focusing on the Gold Coast where people are getting shot and stabbed.
Well, you're painting a very gloomy picture of what's happening on the Gold Coast there. So you do feel that the police have dropped the ball on this?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you go and have a look at the data, and as you know, I'm not a fan of consorting laws. I think they really just divert. The only thing they disrupt is the police from actually investigating criminal behaviour, because there's no criminality attached to the current laws we have for consorting in Queensland. So they don't target criminal behaviour, they just target people with criminal histories. If you go and have a look at the Public Interest Monitor annual reports, it's really interesting to see where we sit with consorting, because consorting is what we see the government come out with, and whenever there's a bike issue like this, they tell us that consorting laws are working. Well, since 2017 through to 2020, we've seen now a 45% decline in the amount of consorting warnings given. If you look at preventative directions to stop consorting, we've seen a 70% decline over those 3 years. In terms of people getting charged, like criminally charged, so that there's a punitive outcome at the end, we had 1,300 consorting notices issued over that period. 9 people were charged criminally with consorting, only 9. So less than 1% of people who were given a notice ever face a court for any criminal proceeding.
So with the bikie gangs, I mentioned some of them there, the Finks, the Mongols, Bandidos, Comancheros, would they be aware of this? Would they know that, one, well, the police aren't cracking down, 2, the police are being diverted away and taking advantage of that?
Oh, I think certainly they'd be aware of that. I mean, you don't have to go down to Coolangatta or try to go near the border to see how many uniformed police are there. And certainly the discontent of some police is well and truly made clear on things like Facebook and Twitter, etc., on their private accounts. So, there's no secret that police are down there in numbers. They're sourcing police for the hotel quarantines as well. So there's been a big drag on police numbers. Having said that, crime overall has declined during COVID because of lockdowns, etc. But obviously where you have criminal elements, people who are intent on carrying out criminal enterprises, they are very savvy in terms of the environment that they operate in. I think we are seeing a more brazen approach from some groups within the bikies, and that's exhibited by the Bowden murder, the other double murder that we had down at Tallabudra or Currumbin Valley. Those type of things, I think we need to take this very seriously, and there needs to be a rethink on how the police are going to approach this.
All right, then, criminologist Terry Goldsworthy, thank you for bringing up to date with that. I mean, that is a concerning picture you're painting down there on the Gold Coast at the moment. Thank you for letting us know about that, and hopefully the police will act on it, because I think people are. I remember going back into those days, and as you say, 2012, 2013, 2014, it was just very scary times on the Gold Coast.